just kind of, I haven't got a plan as such, I'm just going with what makes me feel good. Not trying to push myself too hard. Yeah, and just kind of taking my time, pick only a couple of movements, and then I'll just slowly, over the next month or so, I'll just slowly build myself back into, get into a normal training routine, because yeah, it's probably been a good couple of months that I haven't really trained consistently, or I haven't trained at all for the last couple of months, but then even consistently before that. So it's very much just sort of going back to, not back to square one, but just back to some basics. Just because they felt good the other day and I didn't push them as hard. So yes, I'll do these because shoulders is one of the things that I want to work on. I feel like they're small. They only got little shoulders. So I'll just slowly build up. Yep.
And it's been a few months. Do you have a specific goal that you're going to try to work towards, or is it just literally trying to get back into the gym?
Just getting, yeah.
Trying to get back into the gym and having that motivation as well.
Yep, yeah, very much so. So motivation's a big thing, especially for me, like obviously a personal trainer as well. So sometimes you kind of, by the time you train everybody else in the day and you're in here already so many hours, get to the end of the day and you're like, don't really feel like training myself. So it's hard to kind of keep yourself motivated as well. Yeah, I haven't really got any like training partners or anything around here that keep me consistent either. But that's a big thing for me, is the motivation. But once I get into it, I'm not too bad, because it's more like for my headspace, that sort of thing. Like I train not necessarily like get bigger, get lean, anything like that. Like if I can get a little bit off of here, then it's great. But I love food as well. But yeah, it's more for my headspace that I train. So if I can get a good 3 days a week done, I'm pretty happy with that. And again, just moving, and if I can lose weight from training, fantastic. If I put muscle on, fantastic. But yeah, I haven't necessarily got like I want to get to this point sort of thing. As long as I'm consistent, I'm happy and making progress. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, gone are the days that I'd train to just go as heavy as possible and ruin myself. I'm only 24, thank you, Connor. But no, it is a little bit of an age thing. 32, body starts creaking a little bit, and I think from sort of doing, not necessarily like stupid training back in the day, but not just, again, just kind of like throwing weight around, doing stuff for fun and experimenting. I've ended up creating some bad, not nasty habits, but bad habits, and then they've kind of caused niggles over time that I've got to kind of work around and that sort of thing. So yeah, sometimes going super heavy is counterproductive. So I've very much adopted more of a, well, apart from right now, lighter weight, more reps, as long as I'm pushing those sets close to a failure point. It's still just as good as going heavier for less reps. Yeah, just getting more quality reps in instead of less heavy reps in, if that makes sense. I find that works pretty well, especially in the old age. Joints take a bit longer to get warmed up as well, so the higher reps works with that. But yeah, it's just not being stupid anymore, being more mindful of what my body is feeling, what it's capable of on any given day. and just going with the flow. Sometimes I'm stubborn and I push through things, but most of the time if something kicks in, I just call it there and move on. Can't afford to do that these days. One thing I've definitely got to work on is my legs and my ass. I've noticed my legs have gotten smaller from being a bit more sedentary, and the girlfriend's noticed that my ass has gotten smaller. So we can't be letting that happen. Can't be letting that happen. Got to stay thick.
Hasn't got a cushion on it anymore.
Well, there's a cushion. There's still a cushion there, but I don't know if it's a muscular cushion. So I've just got to build that back up. But that'll come quickly. That'll come quickly.
Yeah, did you notice a lot of your games lost because of training?
Yeah, like doing bench the other day, like that felt pretty good. Bench felt pretty good. Squats felt a lot harder because I haven't had a heavy bar on my back for, again, ages. So even with 100 kilos would normally be fine. But I was just doing like sets of 3 with that. Then again, I got a wee pinch in my hip at the moment as well. So just being mindful of that. It didn't necessarily kick in during squats, but just in funny positions it does. So I'm just kind of being mindful, getting the hips going through a decent range, make sure nothing kicks in. But yeah, like there is definitely some strength lost, mobility's lost. So it is, yeah, in a way it's kind of starting from ground up, but I know, like I've got a base that I know I should be able to start from just fine without having to go all the way back to the beginning. And again, that's just from doing it for 10 years. I know what I'm capable of. If anything, the only thing I really need to work on is just not letting my stubbornness kick through and going, oh, I feel okay. And going heavier than what I probably should, do more than what I should. Cool. Whoa. Old man stand up.
Yeah, what are the benefits of this bar?
So they call it a safety squat bar. I don't know why they call it what's so safe about it, but I think it was more invented for people that had shoulder impingements that couldn't grab onto actually get their arms behind to hold onto a bar there. So there's the extra handles that come in front so they can sit up here nice and solid. On top of that, if you come around, you'll see that there's like this S-bend in the bar. So as you move those handles forward, it shifts the weight forward of the bar. So you can be a little bit more upright than what you normally would with your squat because that weight's shifted forward. So that works quite well for me because my back can kick in when I squat if I'm leaning forward too much. But this works quite well. This hip, but I've definitely noticed that it's just weaker in general. So probably more, bit wobblier. Oh, yeah. Discovered I was a bit weaker on that only like 2 weeks ago. I'll just stand chatting, and I was just kind of doing like these little single leg kind of like quarter squatty type things, just to keep me moving. As soon as I jumped onto this leg here, it was a lot wobbly, it felt a lot weaker through my hip and glute. Just didn't have the same, like I can just jump straight into that one sort of thing. But this side was just way worse. So I know when I do like deadlifting squats, my right side takes over a hell of a lot. So one thing I've got, it's going to be an overtime thing, just doing a little bit more single-sided stuff, try and strengthen up that one side. And again, it's all from the way I've trained the whole time. That right side has just gone, or I've allowed that right side to get stronger without working on the left side more. So it just twists me a little bit, harder to, what are my words? Yeah, just harder to like keep everything even, basically. I blame mixed grip deadlifting, to be quite honest.
What has been your biggest motivator to get back in the gym? And what are some advice to people that need to get that motivation to get back in the gym?
I think I don't like being forced to be sedentary, and not that I've been forced to. It's just with the I've had a very short story. Had 2 surgeries on my eye in the past year, so it's been more. The reason why I haven't been training is to not cause any more damage. Potentially just the pressure build up, too many blood vessels, things can pop. Don't want that happening. So I've kind of put a block on myself to just wait till everything's more or less in the clear. But by doing that, it hasn't been good for my headspace to be sedentary. So again, although I kind of chose to be sedentary, I was in a way forced to. And so just getting back into it for more my headset, more my mindset, just moving in general makes me feel a lot better. I know if I'm having a shit day, sometimes just coming in, blowing off some steam, sweating up a little bit, and just, yeah, moving some decent weight makes me feel a hell of a lot better. I don't know if I feel a hell of a lot better in here, I'll feel a lot better out of the gym, vice versa. If I feel better out of the gym, I'm more likely to eat better. If I'm eating better, train better. It's that whole cycle of that makes me feel good, I want to do that better, so on and so forth. Whereas if it's not that, it's like, cool, I'm not training, headset goes down. I love food, I eat a lot. So it's kind of like, well, if I'm not training, I'm just going to eat crap because I'm not feeling good. You know, you go into that whole comfort food to make you feel better, and then that's also can be bad. Then as you're feeling more gross from the bad food you're eating, then you're less likely to want to move, so on and so forth. So same cycle but in reverse. So even just like, I guess, words of advice for anybody who's pinching in that sort of like down cycle, we'll call it. Just work on one thing, and even if it's not training, it's just eating better. As soon as you start eating better, you should start feeling better. And as soon as you start feeling better, again, that whole cycle. Feeling better, cool, I'm gonna go train, I'm gonna get active, even if it's just going out for a walk and you weren't doing that before, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Again, just getting moving, I'm picking compounds, treating them nicely, not pushing too hard. That's all I care about. Once I'm happy with that, and my body's feeling ace, then I'll start re-implementing some accessory lifts, some cable work, dumbbell work, that sort of thing. But for now, I like doing compound movements. That's what keeps me happy. I'm going to do what makes me happy to keep me consistent. And then, again, follow-on effect. I'll just add things on as I go. Yeah.